Hey, everybody, this is a great chapter. You're going to revisit this probably more than 5 times, I would imagine, as you're going through this manual, because it's such an important piece when you're talking about how scouts or coaches evaluate athletes based on their overall position play, and then reviewing their 5 tools as a baseball or softball or fast pitch athlete, and then projecting on whether they're going to stay in that position or maybe move over to a new position at the higher level when the game speeds up. And what that means is when you look at the 5 tools of a baseball or diamond sport athlete, and you got hitting, hitting for power, fielding, running, and throwing, the first baseman's 5 tools could be stacked up differently than, say, the center fielder. So, for example, if I scroll down a little bit and I look at the first baseman's 5 tools on what I would go out and look for in a first baseman, I'm looking at, can he hit? He's got to be able to be a good hitter. Can he hit for power? That's the second attribute. Fielding, I want him to be able to field his position. Throwing, I don't really care if he can throw the ball as hard as, say, a third baseman or a right fielder or a shortstop. And running is the last. I don't need him to be a base stealer or a burner because he's covering such a short, small piece of infield. So when I look at how those stack up in a first baseman's perspective with hitting, hitting power, fielding, throwing, running, compared to, say, a center fielder, this is where the scouting really gets interesting. A center fielder might be fielding, running, hitting, throwing, and hitting power. So you see the 5 tools are stacked up differently based on the position, because center fielders, you got to be able to field. You need to be able to catch the ball, lay out for the ball, cover a lot of ground, which is why running is super important. So fielding and running are your first two 5 tools that we look for. And then hitting, you got to be able to hit the ball. You got to be able to get on base, right? We want that speed on the base path. We want you to be able to steal bases. Throwing, you got to be able to throw the ball because you're out pretty much the furthest away from home plate. So you got to be able to throw the ball. And then hitting for power. So when you're looking at saying, okay, I'm a center fielder, can you field and can you run? Like, what are your attributes? How do those 5 tools stack up? And if maybe running isn't a great attribute of yours, then maybe you're more of a corner outfielder because you can still field, but your running is subpar, right? So if you're a center fielder, you need to be able to run, and you need to be able to field. And so this is a great page for you to really look, identify the position you're currently playing or scouting. If you're putting out a pref board and you're looking at all the different players that you have on your roster and you're preffing those players out, use this tool to make sure that you're grading those players appropriately per position, as it will really open up opportunities for you to see, holy cow, I have a lot of corner outfielders, I have a lot of corner infielders, but when it comes to prioritizing the 5 tools and really trying to find that shortstop or that center fielder, I don't really have anybody on my roster that fits that criteria. So I need to readjust my recruiting or readjust my scouting to go out and find those players that hit those all-star or organization, just superstar value when it comes to the 5 tools. So hopefully this will help as you get into this chapter, but this is a great chapter. It's a great way to kick this scouting manual off. So have fun.